Today I play the best rocket engineering game of all time, Kerbal Space Program, a game where brain power is needed to accomplish basic tasks. In this video, I do the early game objectives as I have not got much experience with the game's mechanics, as you will see in this video. For my goal for the series, you ask? Conquer at least 3 planets besides Kerbal. Enjoy. I began building my first rocket, the 6-engine machine. As the name implies, I used 6 engines during construction. I added the engines as I wanted to get a feel on how much power I would need to get a lot of height. Once it had been constructed, I began to fly. Once taking off, I saw that the 6 engines I had used worked nicely. I was gaining height at a steady rate. I ended up reaching 5,049 meters before I began my descent back to the surface. On the way down, I began to think of what I needed to do better. I decided to lower the amount of engines and tried to focus on weight, as the craft was too heavy and it wouldn't get as much height as I wanted. The first launch was short, but a success. The second flight was... It wasn't as good. I constructed a new rocket using the ideas I collected from the previous launch. I decided to use only 1 engine this time, as it would be very light and would get a good amount of height. I named the craft PP Thrust 1. I then launched PP Thrust the first, and it went a lot higher. It reached 32,539 meters before it began returning to Kerbal. However, making it lighter was my downfall, as, on its descent, I had some issues. It fell very quickly and the parachute did not have time to open to slow the vessel, so it crashed. Flight 2, unsuccessful. On the next launch, I had tweaked PP Thrust a lot and became Tri-PP Thrust. Using the defeat of last time, I gave the rocket 3 engines. Still a light craft, but not so light that it would plummet into the surface very quickly. This would work well to collect the coveted science points that were only attainable from successful launches once specific measures were met. I added items from the science tab and began the flight. I did the things I needed to do to get the science points. Now all I had to do was successfully land. Easier said than done. However, my idea had worked as the rocket went up, then down for a very long time before successfully landing. For the 4th launch, I tweaked PP Thrust 1 again and added a lot of engines to it. This blew 6-engine machine out of the airspace. I had a lot of engines as I wanted to get a lot of height. Also, I had found a way to not make it weigh as much so it would still fly quickly. However, once I launched, it did not have the outcome I had predicted. The craft appeared normal on the launch pad. The rocket rose normally, but suddenly, multiple of the engines overheated and exploded, making the rocket fly slightly diagonally instead of vertically. Sent it hurtling towards the sea instead of towards space. This was bad. Not only would it crash and burn, but it also had the greatest pilot flying the rocket, Jeb. Jeb is a very epic and handsome Kerbal that is available to use as a pilot in this game. Due to his epicness and handsomeness, I didn't want him to die, so I was preparing to revert the flight and rebuild the vessel to be more stable and not have its engines explode. However, it landed in the sea and was a success. My rocket did not blow up, I got my science points, and the biggest success of all, Jeb was not dead and could fly another day. All was very good for the rocket industry. And that concludes the first Kerbal Space Program video on this channel. I hope to make more as I really enjoy the game. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye.